right, we'll go ahead and get started. I think it's just barely 6:30 here, but I feel like we're ready. Everyone's ready to get home to the Bronco game. So, good evening. My name is Ashley Verville. I'm the Director of Communications for the Cherry Creek School District. Thank you for attending this very important event and taking the time to make an informed decision regarding the future leadership of the Cherry Creek School District. A big thank you to Grandview High School for hosting tonight's forum, and to all the staff who have helped with the event. Tonight is a community forum where candidates for the Board of Education will have an opportunity to introduce themselves to you and answer questions that are of interest to our community. This year we have 2 contested races in District D and E. We will offer all candidates an opportunity to address the audience, to introduce themselves and why they want to be a member of the Board of Education. We will then move into 2 rounds of questions, a quick round or a hand raise, and then questions from our community. Community questions may be directed at all candidates or specific candidates. Candidates will have 1 minute to answer the question. These questions were collected from various district parent groups, local PTCOs, from previous forums, and the like. Audience members here tonight are also able to submit questions for review via the QR code or a note card. We will try to get to as many community questions as possible at each forum. If we don't get to all of them, we will save them for a future forum. Every forum is being recorded and is posted on the district website in its entirety. We ask that as candidates respond, the audience reacts appropriately and that we show respect to these individuals who have stepped forward as willing volunteers for this important leadership role. Prior to this evening, each candidate was provided the opportunity to respond to 5 informational questions posted on the district website under the 2025 Board of Education election page. I encourage you to learn more about each person after tonight's forum. Our candidates from District D and E will now have 2 minutes each to introduce themselves and share why they are interested in being on the Board of Education. Tonight we'll begin with Amanda Thayer from Director District D.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Thayer, and I'm running for the Cherry Creek School District School Board seat for District D. I've always believed that a great education is the foundation for future success. That belief was instilled in me by my own mother, a special education teacher of 30 years. It's what led me to then pursue my own degree in education, and it's the reason that my husband and I chose to raise our 2 children here in the Cherry Creek School District over 25 years ago. I've long admired the district's commitment to excellence, even from afar. And as a high school student in DECA, if you're familiar with the club, I remember competing against Cherry Creek teams, and they consistently took home the first place in national championships all the time. When we moved to Colorado, I knew that this was the district that I should buy a home in. Over the years, I've invested countless hours into our schools, volunteering as a substitute teacher, serving as PTCO treasurer and president, and coordinating events like teacher appreciation and fundraising. Currently, I serve on the District Accountability Committee on the Executive Board and as the community representative for the Family and Community Subcommittee. This experience, combined with my professional background in the defense industry, where I collaborate on business strategies, review budgets, and drive process improvement, has prepared me to serve our community as a school board member. My top priorities are clear: focusing on student achievement, putting money back into the classrooms, fostering strong parent and community engagement, and ensuring fiscal responsibility. My mother always taught me the importance of strong partnership between parents and educators, and I'm committed to making sure that every family has the tools and support they need for their children to thrive in this district. I look forward to our conversation this evening, and I'd be honored to earn your support and your vote. I'm Amanda Thayer. Thank you.
Great. Next we'll move to Terry Bates, also from Director District D.
Hi, I'm Terry Bates. The Cherry Creek School District has played a vital role in helping my 5 children grow into well-rounded, compassionate adults. They all graduated from Cherry Creek High Schools. My family and I have spent the last 21 years volunteering in the district, supporting schools financially, and assisting families in need. I see this as a great opportunity to give back, bringing my time and financial expertise at a moment when state and federal funding is in jeopardy, along with declining student enrollment. I also grew up with a family of educators. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. My grandfather was a teacher. My dad was a special education teacher, and later he was a principal at a school that was exclusive to special education students. Public education has always been part of my life and that of my children. I paid for 100% of my college education, and I'm grateful for the life lessons I've learned along the way. I graduated in the top 10% of my undergraduate and graduate programs from the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan. Upon graduation, I earned my CPA license and worked for 8 years at one of the most prestigious public accounting firms, PricewaterhouseCoopers. I'm passionate about financial stewardship and transparency, making sure every dollar is used efficiently and with integrity. I'm an expert in financial matters, having worked as a chief financial officer for the last 22 years for major companies in the Denver area.
Great. Next, we'll move to Director, District E, Tatiana Sturm.
Good evening. My name is Tatiana Sturm. I'm a proud Colorado native, and I have called Cherry Creek home for more than 20 years. My husband and I have raised 2 boys here because, like many of you, we wanted them to have the very best education. Both of my sons have gone through Cherry Creek schools, so I know firsthand how important it is to keep this district strong. For over 2 decades, I've been deeply involved in our community, volunteering at fun runs, trunk or treats, teacher appreciation breakfasts, and organizing events like recycling drives and opportunities for students to spend time with seniors in memory care through music, crafts, and holiday celebrations. Service and community have always been at the heart of who I am, and I'm proud to be seen as a community leader. Professionally, I've been a working mom and a small business owner in real estate for 25 years. I've sold over 1,500 homes, managed more than 500 projects for my clients, and I've personally invested and overseen more than 200 real estate projects and construction projects in Colorado, Florida, and internationally. I want to bring that much-needed business perspective to the board. I know the direct connection between strong schools, strong neighborhoods, and strong property values. I believe in fiscal responsibility and smart investments in classrooms are the key to keeping our community strong. I also grew up in a biracial household, and I have a deaf sister. Those experiences gave me a deep understanding of the importance of communication access, parent partnerships, and strong support for special education students. They shape how I listen, lead, and advocate, making sure every child, no matter their background, has a chance to succeed. At the end of the day, my priorities are simple for Cherry Creek. I want to give the district excellence, give parents a stronger voice, make sure the tax dollar goes where it matters most, into the classroom, supporting students and teachers.
Great. And Mike Hamrick.
Good evening. Thanks for being here and not watching the Bronco game. Thank you to Grandview and Cherry Creek Schools for hosting this forum. I'm a veteran. I'm a parent of two Cherry Creek students, one of which graduated from this high school, and I've seen her on the stage numerous times in the performing arts. I'm also a grandparent of the cutest kindergartner in Cherry Creek Schools, in my opinion. As a veteran, one of the things I learned was to strive to serve our community, and that's what I'm trying to do. I currently serve on the Cherry Creek Long Range Facility Planning Committee, the Boundary Subcommittee, and in the past I've served as my HOA president, my Metro District president. I was elected to serve on the Centennial Home Rule Charter Commission. I served on the Centennial Board of the Review, president of the Liquor Board, and the Arapahoe County Citizens Budget Committee. I believe in service to our community. I'd also like to say that I volunteered on every bond and mill that I can remember from the late 80s, 90s on. I've coached Destination Imagination, soccer, and have participated in numerous fundraising activities, both here at Grandview, Falcon Creek, Polton, Overland, Prairie Middle School. I've always been there to support our kids. In the Air Force, I taught avionics. I supervised instructors, and I was the training manager for the F-111 aircraft. So I know what it's like on the vocational education side, and also the military allowed me to go to college, get my bachelor's degree, so I have a unique experience of both the vocational education and academic education. I see I'm running out of time. I'm Mike Hamrick, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Okay, next we will move into our quick round of questions. I will read a series of statements. If you agree with the statement or if the statement applies to you, please raise your hand. If you disagree or it does not apply to you, leave your hand down. First question, I have received support from previous board members and/or superintendents. I have received support for my candidacy from the Teachers Association. To prepare for the role of a board member, I have attended a wide variety of district meetings and events. I understand it is the role of the superintendent to manage the day-to-day operations of the school district and that board members are not involved in the daily operations of the district. As the approving entity for a school board's annual budget, As the approving entity for a school board's annual budget, I believe Board of Education members should disclose all financial or legal issues they have incurred during their career. I have previously supported the Cherry Creek Schools Foundation either monetarily or with time and resources. I believe that all students can learn and achieve great things. I support the expansion of public charter schools in Cherry Creek School District. I think public schools should provide mental health services. I have toured the Cherry Creek Innovation Campus and understand the pathways offered. I believe that the Teachers Association and other employee groups play a critical role in the success of the district. I support professional learning for our teachers to ensure the best educators for our children. I believe hiring staff that reflect the demographics of our student body is an important goal. I believe the district has a responsibility to educate all students regardless of their immigration status. I support periodically raising taxes to continue the long history of investing in safe, healthy, and innovative school buildings. I voted to support the latest mill and bond measure in November of 2024. Okay, that concludes our quick round of questions. Next, we will proceed to our community questions. These questions were collected from various Cherry Creek parent groups, such as parent councils, individual school PTCOs, and previous board forums. Audience members here tonight were also able to submit questions for review via the QR code or a note card. These questions have been grouped by common theme for tonight's purposes. Please remember that the response to each question is limited to 1 minute and should be completed when the buzzer sounds. Tonight, and some questions will be directed to all candidates, and some questions will be directed to certain candidates. Tonight, we will start with Terry in Director District D, but this question will be posed to all candidates. The question is, what do you believe are the best things that are happening in Cherry Creek School District that you would continue to support? What are areas of improvement for the district? Please be specific in your answer and provide examples. Terry.
One of the best things we have going on, it's amazing, is CCIC. So if you haven't toured the facility, I encourage that you do. Thank you for all the taxpayers who approved the last bond, because we're investing another $100 million into expanding CCIC. That will allow CCIC to educate 70% more students and create 9 more pathways. I think CCIC is important because not every kid should go to college, and this gives them an opportunity to find their pathway to purpose. In terms of opportunities for improvement, we need to continue focusing on literacy. The strategic plan, which I have reviewed, it's very detailed. It has the first item it talks about in the plan is working on literacy.
Great. Same question to you, Amanda.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity. I agree with Terry. The CCIC is an awesome opportunity for our students. And as a parent, I wholeheartedly support our pathways to purpose and strong community partnerships. Because we're at Grandview tonight, I wanted to share kind of a personal story. My son graduated from Grandview in 22, but an injury kept him from playing football his senior year. Football had been his life, and his teammates were his people. After a very thoughtful discussion with the athletic trainer, Mr. Scott Learned, we decided it was best for his well-being to not play. Instead, Mr. Learned encouraged him to enroll in his student athletic training class and serve as the student trainer on the football field. This let him stay connected, wear his jersey, and support his teammates. That experience led to hands-on work with a community partner. It gave him real-world learning, and the staff here at Grandview were awesome in encouraging to finish out that school year. My son today is in an athletic training master's program, and it would not have been possible without that experience here.
Great. Mike, same question to you.
Oh, there's so many good things, but I think like the previous two, I'm so excited about the programs offered at CCIC. The workforce solutions for our students to have a pathway to graduate from high school and go into the workforce, especially for those kids that aren't on the college-bound pathway. Other things that we do great, the Traverse Academy, that's a great program to take care of those suffering from mental health issues. And let's not forget the new programs that's coming online. I think there's 16 in the program this year. The Aspiring Educator Program. What a great opportunity for folks in Cherry Creek to learn how to become an educator, work in the district, and graduate at a reduced tuition, and then enter the workforce into Cherry Creek schools. Also excited about some opportunities with the National Women's Soccer program coming in. Some I'm running out of time, sorry. Partnerships going forth. Thank you.
Great. Tatiana, same question.
I do agree with all the candidates that CCIC offers great opportunities to students to figure out what they're good at, what they like, and what their true passions are. I would like to see CCIC campuses get expanded throughout the district. I also think the district does a great job in building safety, the way that they have the buildings set up in and out, the red bag system. And one thing that I think we need to work on in the district is giving teachers more resources. I've met with a lot of teachers recently, and they need more classroom time, they need more instruction time, they need help in the classroom, such as aides and paras. Getting more parents involved in the classroom is going to be really important, getting our kids educated and getting them on a proficient reading level for their grade. One thing I do want to touch on in the quick round questions is I want teachers to be hired that are the best teachers for our kids, regardless of race or gender.
Great. Next candidate will also go to, next question will go to all candidates. What do your future professional and personal priorities look like? How does serving on this board benefit you in those pursuits? Mike, we'll start with you.
Well, I just want to serve the district. In the future, I'm going to go back to being Papa and a father and travel. Those are the things I'm passionate about. I have no pathway to anything other than serving our community, serving Cherry Creek schools, serving our teachers, our students, our families for the next 4 and who knows, maybe 8 years. That's my goal. Nothing further from there.
Thank you. Tatiana, same question.
I am running because I have strong ties to the district. Like I mentioned earlier, I've lived here for 21 years, and I have raised 2 sons that have attended Cherry Creek's schools. I've helped hundreds of families move into this community, but now I'm watching families move out because the schools are not what they used to be. I've spoken with so many teachers and parents who are frustrated with the curriculum, the discipline, with less classroom time, and with their hands tied from doing what they do best, which is teaching. Some teachers have ESL students making up nearly 40% of their class. I've heard of deaf students without interpreters and teachers instructed to pass kids who are failing. Parents and students are furious and that we've eliminated the valedictorian. Here's the truth. We have money, nearly $18,000 per student, so where is that money going? When we celebrate a 91% graduation rate, but less than half the students are proficient in reading and math, we have to ask, are students really prepared for this world?
Terry, same question to you.
I'm not a politician. I have no political aspirations. I plan on continuing doing my job as an excellent chief financial officer. My kids have grown, and as mentioned, all 5 of my kids graduated from Cherry Creek schools. 4 graduated from CT. 1 graduated from Grandview, and she's here tonight. I just want to give back. We have so much financial issues coming forward. I don't know if you guys read the Denver Post last week, but in the Denver Post, they said the next round of budget cuts are going to be really, really hard on the state. And then we already have the federal government wanting to reduce spending on public education as well. I want to use my expertise, financial expertise, to lead this district through these turbulent times. I just want to give back.
And Amanda, same question.
Great. Well, I've always been known to be busy, have more than one job, and keep myself busy with lots of things. So adding the school board is just another one of those things that I get to add to my plate. I work in the defense industry right now and worked in the business development area for a really long time. And a lot of what I do in my daily work is set vision and goals, set strategies. I oversee budget and resources, and I ensure accountability for our teams, and I also help engage with other teams within our business. And I believe that all of those skills I will bring to the school board and will help set strategies, set goals so that we can continue to be an excellent school district. I'm passionate as a mom and as a prior teacher in educating our kids and making sure that our literacy rates are where they should be. And so that is probably the most important thing in my run for this school board.
Okay, next question will be directed to Director District E. We'll start with Tatiana. How important is it for you to have a good working relationship with the superintendent, and how would you achieve that?
The role of the school board is straightforward: to set policy, oversee the budget, and work with the superintendent to hold the district accountable for results. As a small business owner for 25 years and a mom, I will bring both my professional expertise and personal commitment to this responsibility. Through my work in my real estate investments, I have learned how to manage the budgets, analyze return on investment, and negotiate contracts for the best outcomes. These skills will directly transfer to the school board. I've seen firsthand how teachers give and how stretched they are without adequate support. That's why I'm passionate about putting more money into the classroom, giving teachers aides and pairs, ensuring our kids are proficient in reading and math. With measurable goals, smart of use technology, and accountability to taxpayers, I will work with the superintendent to get this district back on focusing what matters most, which is education excellence for every child.
Mike, same question.
Well, I think it all begins with communication. I think when I'm elected, one of the first meetings I would like to have is with Superintendent Smith and discuss what the vision is for the future in Cherry Creek schools. You know, I think we know a lot of it when we look at our pathways to purpose and those type of strategies, but talk about the goals and how we're going to get there, how we're going to improve, how we're going to grow Cherry Creek excellence for another 75 years. I think communication is the key, and I'd also think that it'd be nice to talk to Chris and, of course, educators, students, and families as we develop those pathways to the future.
Great. Next question is for Director District D. We'll start with Amanda. Describe what you believe the board's role is as it relates to the superintendent's role in the district.
Yeah, so the role of the Cherry Creek board member is about governance and oversight, not day-to-day management. And so the board is, like I said in my previous answer, is to set vision and goals, to oversee budget and resources, to hire and evaluate the superintendent and ensure accountability and transparency, and engage with the community. And I'm ready to use those business skills that I have to bring to that, and then work with the superintendent to ensure that we are carrying out the policies, the rules, the things that the board has collaborated on with the superintendent.
Great. Terry, same question.
The superintendent, okay, the Board of Education, as it dealing with the superintendent, has really three primary responsibilities. With the superintendent, it's a responsibility to hire or fire and regularly evaluate the performance of the superintendent. As it pertains to parents or principals, teachers, school support personnel, that's the responsibility of the superintendent and the district leadership team. They're in charge of the overall day-to-day operations of the school with little influence from the board. And then third, this is a key role, is for the board to be engaged with the community to understand what are some of the needs and concerns of parents and students, so we can report back to the board what those concerns are.
Thank you. Next question will be for Tatiana and Amanda, starting with Tatiana. You've said that parent involvement is one of the reasons you're running for the board. Can you please elaborate as to what parent involvement means to you and what your view on parent groups like Voices of Color, Indigenous Parent Action Committee, and Special Education Advisory Committee, what your view is on those parent groups?
Can you repeat that question for me, please?
Sure. You have said that parent involvement is one of the reasons you're running for the board. Can you please elaborate as to what parent involvement means to you, and also what your view is on parent groups like Voices of Color, Indigenous Parent Action Committee, and Special Education Advisory Committee?
So, parent partnerships are extremely important in the school. I believe parents are partners in education, and they're not bystanders. We definitely need to encourage more parent involvement in the schools. When we have more parent involvement, I know when I volunteered in the school with my kids, they were much more disciplined and much more well-behaved in the school. So I think that discipline is something that we need to work on as a district. I've had a lot of teachers talk about how their hands are tied in the classroom in regards to discipline. But when parents are involved, we also see higher achievement in our children, regardless of the color of their skin. With parent involvement, we also see better attendance as well. And I think parents should have a voice on the curriculum that's in the schools as well.
Great. Amanda, same question to you.
Yeah, so as the chair for the Family and Community Subcommittee, being on the District Accountability Committee, that is one of the charges that we've been given, is to look at parent involvement. And so in regards to the meetings and the different, groups that there are available to attend, I guess my question would be are parents attending those meetings now? And what makes the most sense? We all know as parents that we're super busy and that it's hard to make it to every single club and group that is offered. And so I would advocate for maybe looking at those and seeing what makes the most sense. But overall, I believe parents, teachers, and students all bring valuable perspectives. By working together, we can build more collaborative and transparent approach to education. One of our biggest shared goals must be literacy. Low literacy rates don't just impact the individual child, they affect the entire classroom and ultimately the community and home life. So when students become strong readers, they gain confidence, which drives their success at school and beyond, and it encourages their parents to also be involved.
Okay, next question is for all candidates. Are you supportive of the current direction of Cherry Creek Schools as set forth in the district's strategic plan, or do you believe the district should change its direction? Terry, we'll start with you.
I've had the opportunity, I've spent a lot of time studying the strategic plan, the core values. I've met with the superintendent and key members of DLT to better understand what the vision and the strategic plan is for the district. I think it's an excellent plan. And as I mentioned earlier in my opening remarks, one of the first items that's addressed in the strategic plan is to improve literacy. So that also, the second initiative is the whole well-being of our students. And then third is really focusing on making sure every kid has equal opportunity to a high-quality education. I also believe that the core values established by the district are perfect.
Great. Mike, same question.
Do you mind repeating that? I'm sorry.
Not at all. Are you supportive of the current direction of Cherry Creek Schools as set forth in the district's strategic plan, or do you believe the district should change its direction?
Absolutely. I think our strategic plan says a lot about our focus on where we're going for the next 75 years. Things that have been brought up here, like literacy. I think we've seen a 10% increase in literacy rates since this plan has been in place. Growth of the students. That is should be our main goal coming out of our school district, is how well do our children grow? It's not just a test score, it's how well did each individual child progress on their pathway to purpose and into adulthood after they leave Cherry Creek Schools. And one of the other parts of the strategic is, equality. What that means is opportunity for each and every student to move forward.
Great. We'll move back this way. Amanda, same question.
Yeah, as a parent and a former teacher, I know that improving literacy rates and ensuring students have experienced, skilled educators are key factors in supporting not just academic success, but overall mental health and well-being. When students are able to read at grade level, they gain confidence and a sense of accomplishment and the ability to fully engage with their classroom learning. Struggling literacy can create stress and anxiety and frustration, and that can affect the students' emotional health over time. So do I agree with the strategy of the district? I think the fact that we are getting kids to read, all reading by 2030 is great. I think there are some other things that we can add to that. Experienced educators play a critical role in identifying the warning signs of academic or emotional struggles. So I think that focus on well-being and growth is also super important in the classroom. And by combining those strong early literacy programs with highly qualified teachers, we give students the foundation they need to succeed academically.
Tatiana, same question.
I agree with Amanda on the plan to have every child literate by 2030. Right now, less than half the CCSD students are reading at proficient grade level, and that's a crisis because literacy is the foundation for every subject, and if students are not fluent by third grade, they are far more likely to fall behind in other areas of school. As someone who grew up in a biracial household, I understand the importance of making sure every child, no matter their background, has the same opportunity to succeed. Equity isn't about labels, it's about access to what works. That means frequent benchmark assessments, systematic phonics, early detection and intervention, which are far more effective and cost efficient than remediation later, and real partnerships with families where parents are part of the reading plans. The district spends a lot of money on literacy coaches and professional development. We need accountability to ensure those dollars fund research-based programs that truly improve reading achievement.
Great. Next question will also go to all candidates. With funding cuts and rising need, how will the district ensure SPED, English language learners, and gifted and talented students get the services they deserve? Amanda, we'll start with you.
Yeah, as a business leader who deals with budgets daily, creating fiscal accountability in the school district is one of my top priorities. We need to make sure that every dollar is directed toward improving student achievement and expanding those opportunities that are available to them, not just growing bureaucracy. So you can count on me to ensure that your tax dollars do what you expect them to do, strengthen education for our kids. That means being fully transparent with bond and mill levy spending so the community knows exactly where the money goes. In Colorado, teachers' salaries as a share of total education spending have dropped from over 30% in 2013 to just 25% in 2023, while administration costs continue to rise. Enrollment is down and literacy rates decline. It's time to stop trying to fix education from the top down and instead fund the people who are actually doing the educating, our teachers and our staff, and putting that money back into special ed and all of the specials that we have for our children that are so vitally important, from MLL, I'm not sure what the latest acronym is, but yeah.
Terry, same question to you.
Could you repeat it, please?
Sure. With funding cuts and rising need, how will the district ensure SPED, English language learners, and gifted and talented students get the services they deserve?
It's a good question. I believe these programs must be protected. So to do that, I'll push for targeted funding, for example, grants that could be directed at these programs, co-teaching, shared specialist models, and efficient staffing, partnerships with nonprofits or universities that potentially could supplement the services that we have been previously providing to our students. And then I'd be at the state capitol advocating for more funding for these programs. And I would also look at opportunities in the business community to strive for public-private partnerships that potentially could be a win-win for our students and for the business community.
Tatiana, same question.
One of my priorities is getting more money into the classrooms, and we need to take a hard look at the budget, overhead costs, and administrative costs. With enrollment down, we need to get that enrollment up. By growing our enrollment, we can restore the trust and excellence and bring more state funding without asking taxpayers for more. We also need to optimize our facilities and stay on top of maintenance, so we're not constantly playing catch up. We could lease unused space for community programs or preschools, apply for competitive federal and state grants, in special education and school safety, and we can even look at things like energy upgrades for the building to cut costs and redirect those dollars back into the classrooms. And one of the best cost savers for the district, it's far cheaper to teach a child to read K through third grade than to remediate in middle or in high school. Strong reading skills can also reduce behavioral problems and keep students engaged, which protect funding tied to enrollment.
Mike, same question.
Well, it's a tough one. I think Cherry Creek Schools has been here in the past during different times. I mean, our schools across the state are still, even though they've eliminated the budget stabilization factor, we're still only being funded at 1989 levels. And we all know from our own households and our families what inflation has done since 1989. Costs keep going up, and somehow the district has managed to execute these programs in spite of all those increased costs. We need to protect these programs. These are our kids. They need to continue those pathways of growth in their classrooms. ELA, that's how one of the ways we'll improve test scores is the more we do with the language acquisition, the better they'll perform on the test. But we're going to have to fight for money, whether it's at the state or we're going to have to ask the voters. But our teachers will make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question will also go to all candidates. We'll start with Tatiana. A large part of school health requires most students to be vaccinated. How does each candidate feel about vaccinations?
I think as a district, we can give recommendations to parents. I don't think that vaccinations, as a district, we should be mandating those vaccinations. Parents have the right to choose over their child's health and what's best for their child.
Mike, same question.
Well, I truly believe science matters. I think over decades, we have proof of vaccinations helping our children grow up. You look at going back, polio, mumps, measles. We achieved herd immunity because we had vaccination programs in place. I don't know how many of you remember, but I do, in Central Illinois, standing in line in school to get our vaccines. I truly believe that it's the responsibility of every parent to send their child to school healthy and vaccinated, because if they're not, then they can affect my children, the educators, and the staff in the building. So I'm a strong proponent. In fact, during COVID, my social life, I was working at the Equity Vaccine Clinics, which took place mostly on the north side of Cherry Creek schools at Prairie and other facilities. I'm a strong proponent.
Amanda, same question.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. A large part of school health requires most students to be vaccinated. How do you feel about vaccinations?
So as a parent, I believe that we need to prioritize those parent relationships, and in doing so, I believe that parents, teachers, and students all bring their own experiences, and by working together, we can allow for parents to make those decisions. We're working on trying to create better parent involvement and better parent engagement, and I believe that part of educating your children is also having parents involved in the educating of their children is also allowing parents to be involved in making the decisions on whether or not their child needs to be vaccinated. And I think that is one of the ways that we're going to continue to grow parent partnerships and parent relationships, is to be partners in educating our children and partners in bringing our children into schools with parents.
Terry, same question.
I believe we should follow the law of the state of Colorado. I believe we should follow the science and listen to our healthcare professionals. I would like to take this opportunity to address a point made by my opponent at the last forum. At the last forum, my opponent indicated that administrative costs in the district have increased 16% over the last few years. I went back and I researched the information. During the same period of time that my opponent referenced a 16% increase in administration costs, inflation was up 16.2%. In other words, if you include the impact of inflation, administrative costs are actually slightly less than 4 years ago. I would also like to remind you that only 4% of our administrative costs are part of our labor.
Okay, next question is for all candidates. Please give your wrong question. What issue needs the most attention in Cherry Creek schools, and what is your step-by-step plan to address it? Tatiana, we'll start with you.
As a mom, I want my kids focused on academics, not politics. Less than half of students in Cherry Creek are reading on grade level, and our district is now scoring below state average in English and math. That is unacceptable for a district of this size and reputation. A teacher recently told me politics should be checked at the door, and a student should never know where you stand politically, and if they do, that's a problem, and I couldn't agree more. We must return to the basics: reading, writing, math, and science, using evidence-based curriculum with a proven track record. We also have to protect instructional time, fewer meetings and distractions for teachers, smaller class sizes, and more aides in classrooms. Budget priorities must follow academics, not political agendas. Our kids deserve to leave school proficient, prepared, and ready to compete in the world, and that only happens when we put academics first.
Terry, we'll move over here. Same question.
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
What issue needs the most attention in the Cherry Creek schools, and what is your step-by-step plan to address it?
I think the immediate issue we're going to have, and I've mentioned it earlier, is funding. We're going to have budget shortfalls due to issues at the state level and the federal government level. I've been a chief financial officer now for 22 years, and I'm used to working in these type of difficult situations. The first thing I'm going to do is figure out the size of the issue. How much money are we short? Secondly, I'm going to work with the superintendent and his DLT team to determine what ideas do they have to make up the shortfall. Our overarching goals, though, have to be protect and strengthen core instruction, retain and continue to attract and recruit the best teachers, maintain safe, functional facilities and infrastructure.
Great. Amanda, same question.
So as a teacher and a mother, I believe that improving student achievement is my top priority, and I believe is the biggest issue in the district today. Cherry Creek schools must stay focused on teaching the subjects and the skills that prepare every child for success. And that starts with literacy. Right now, less than 50% of our students are reading at grade level, according to the latest CMAS scores. Research shows that students who struggle with reading often lose confidence, experience higher rates of anxiety or depression, and may stop trying out of fear of failure. When that happens, engagement drops and learning gaps grow over time. Strong literacy skills, especially in the early years, are the foundation for all learning. That's why I want to focus on supporting every child without bringing politics into the classroom, and I'm committing to making sure every student has the resources, support, and opportunities they need to succeed and thrive academically. Cherry Creek must remain a district where every child is our priority, and literacy is at the heart of that mission.
Mike, same question.
Well, I think Mr. Bates said it from the get-go. The biggest issue we're going to have is funding. You know, we need to make sure we have our class sizes at a manageable level for our educators. We need to increase funding in the classroom and for our educators, because the educators are the backbone that helps achieve the growth for our students. People want to talk about CMAS scores. As I said at Cherokee Trail the other night, it's a snapshot in time. It's not the end-all, be-all of everything. Our students have growth potential, growth levels above and beyond almost every other district. I've been at a couple other forums in the community with other districts, and you know what? They all want to be like us. They want to be Cherry Creek because we have the best academic performance in the state.
Okay, next question is for all the candidates. It's a follow-up on a quick round question. I believe I saw all 4 hands go up in support, that you all voted to support the 2024 mill and bond measure that was passed in November of 2024. Could you please explain why you chose to support the 2024 mill and bond and why those local tax measures are important to Cherry Creek schools? Terry, we'll start with you.
In addition to voting yes on 4A and 4B a year ago, for the last 20 years, I've voted yes on every mill and bond increase. I read through what the plan was to use the bond money. We raised nearly $1 billion, okay? Some key items that the money is going to be used for. One, I mentioned $100 million to expand CCIC. I'm not sure how many people have been to Cherry Creek High School. That needs to be replaced. We're putting a pool in at Overland High School. We're putting in a mini CCIC at Overland High School. We're putting in a new middle school. We're replacing Laredo. So there's certain facilities throughout the district that need to be upgraded or replaced.
Tatiana, same question.
In '24, our community approved a $950 million bond that will ultimately cost us $1.8 billion to repay. I want to thank you for the taxpayers for approving that, and that is an enormous investment in our schools, and we owe it to the taxpayers to manage those dollars responsibly. Cherry Creek's Long-Range Planning Committee identified $1.6 billion in facility needs, including more than $300 million in deferred maintenance. Things like roofs, HVAC, and basic safety upgrades that should have been addressed years ago. Those were included in the '24 bond as well, but that still leaves another $650 million in identified needs. Shouldn't those be our top priority going forward? When you ask taxpayers to pass bonds, there must be a clear list of priorities and full community engagement. Any new spending, whether it's athletic fields or soccer stadium, should be weighed against pressing maintenance and classroom needs and involve the community every step of the way. Our students deserve safe, warm, and well-maintained schools so that they can focus on learning.
Mike, same question.
Absolutely, I supported it. I donated to it. I walked doors. I put up yard signs, all kinds of stuff. And the reason why, the thing that excited me the most was the expansion of the CCIAC campus. I think that's got the potential to be the greatest thing we're doing moving forward. It gives us that pathway for those non-college bound kids. Thanks to the voters for approving it. That's tremendous. Like Tatiana said, $950 million. It's a big investment. And you as voters in Cherry Creek made that investment. So many things that have happened in the past as well. You know, we have Grandview and Cherokee Trail and all the other schools out in this area on the east side. Those voters in Cherry Creek, on the Cherry Creek side, helped us do those elections and approve those bonds so we could develop this. And it's great to see that we're finally moving forward with improving the facilities on that side of town.
Great. Amanda, same question.
Great. So I agree with everyone here. I also believe that Cherry Creek School District often highlights that taxpayers here pay less than those in many of the surrounding districts. And that's true when you look at mill levy rates, which are lower in Cherry Creek compared to nearby districts like Denver or Littleton. But it's also important to understand the nuance of our overall property taxes that depends on home values, bond measures, and voter-approved overrides. And declining enrollment adds another layer of concern because when fewer students attend our schools, it can put pressure on the district's finances and ultimately decrease local property values. So while the district's portion of the tax bill is lower, homeowners may still pay more in actual dollars in their property values or see their property values affected if enrollment continues to drop. So in short, Cherry Creek taxpayers generally benefit from lower school tax rates, but the full picture of what you pay and the health of our neighborhoods depends on both rates, enrollment trends, and property values.
Great. Next question will also be for all candidates. We'll start with Mike. How do you propose balancing future bond initiatives in order to rebuild and renovate older, deteriorating buildings while providing updated, innovative spaces for students to learn?
Well, I think we have to look at what, as I mentioned before, what we've done in the past, where our voters have taken care of us on this side of town, on the east part of Cherry Creek School District. The older facilities, of course, are Cherry Creek High School, Smoky Hill, Overland, and we need to make sure we take care of them too. We're in a beautiful auditorium paid for by those voters, and we need to make sure we look to the future to do that. I currently serve on the Long Range Facility Planning Committee. Our task is to look at those facilities and look at what improvements we need to make across the state, across the district, to improve facilities and make them better accessible for all our students.
Tatiana, same question.
Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. How do you propose balancing future bond initiatives in order to rebuild and renovate older, deteriorating buildings while providing updated, innovative spaces for students to learn?
So I've touched on this quite a bit, but we had that bond that passed, that $950 million bond, and we do have $300 million in deferred maintenance that we need to take a look at. We need to make sure that we are taking care of the buildings that we do own before we start looking at new construction projects. As a investor and person that has done construction in residential and commercial, I know budgets can easily get blown out of proportion when you start doing new commercial buildings. But one thing I do want to mention in the funding is that in addition to that bond that we had passed last year, the district also collected an additional $51 million from local taxpayers and $17 million from the state. And last year we tapped into our reserves of $5 million, so we really need to take a look at this and be more fiscally responsible with our tax dollars.
Amanda, same question.
Yeah, I like Mr. Bates, I am used to managing very complex budgets, but a school board member's job isn't to act as the district CFO. We already have one. Our role is really to support the superintendent and finance team by setting clear priorities, ensuring transparency, and engaging the community in how those dollars are spent. And that includes how we balance spending money on deferred maintenance and updating old buildings and providing innovative spaces for our students. We need to talk more about just balancing the budget. We need to talk about our students' education. We cannot have our students sitting in spaces that are growing mold and are, deteriorating around them. They need to be safe and they need to be warm. Those things are unacceptable. And we need board members who understand education, who can collaborate with staff and the community, and who will make fiscally responsible choices that directly improve literacy and academic achievement. Balancing the books matters, but excellence in education must always come first.
Terry, same question.
When I'm looking at the bond, the money, the mills and the bonds, I think there's three fundamental questions we should ask. One, what most directly benefits student learning? Secondly, equal opportunity for success. And then safety of our kids. With that, I'd prioritize as such. First priority would be core instructional programs. Second one is our teachers and our staff, effectiveness and retention of our staff. We have to look at our facilities, both from a safety perspective, a maintenance, and infrastructure. And then we need to look at the services for the high-need populations. And then finally, I would look at our strategic and innovative programs, and always trying to leave some money back just in case for a rainy day.
Thank you. Next question is directed to Tatiana specifically. You said the administration is too large. Where would you suggest making cuts specifically?
Our district has spent millions of dollars on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, yet the reality is that nearly 70% of our students of color are not proficient in third grade reading and fifth grade math, among many other grade levels. If these programs aren't meant to improve outcomes, we should be seeing real progress in academics, but we're not. When I grew up in the 80s and 90s, kids went to school and the expectations were high for every student. Discipline standards were maintained, and we were all taught the basics. As a school board member that grew up in a biracial household, I am not okay with the disparity in the achievement levels. We know if we teach the basics, students learn. So let's invest in teaching phonics. Let's really support teachers, allowing them to teach the basics. Let's work with parents so that they can be true partners, so that we can see achievement for all students.
Thank you. Next question is for Amanda specifically. In the questions posted on the candidate webpage online, you did not include an answer to the question of where Cherry Creek Schools excels. Can you please provide an answer to this question?
Yeah, I think Cherry Creek Schools excels in many areas. Having children go through the school system, I know my daughter had to do a school reading program. She had to read a book before her 6th grade school year. And she ended up reading a Percy Jackson series. And up until then, she was not a proficient reader. She was not the best of readers. And that book just lit a fire under her. And she was so excited to learn. She fell in love with Greek mythology, and she fell in love with just adventure, travel, with international events and different things. And so this year, for her senior trip, after she graduated, she decided that she wanted to go to Greece and experience it all firsthand. And I think that the school district does encourage students, and the CCIC and the different things that they do encourages students to be adventurous in their learning.
Thank you. Next question will go to all the candidates. We have seen leadership changes at the board level take place at surrounding school districts that have changed the strategic direction of a district. Do you believe stability in a board of education is important, and why? Terry, we'll start with you.
Yes. Yes, stability is important. Make no mistake, we do not want to be like Douglas County. That is a train wreck. Okay? Stability matters for a couple reasons. Many initiatives take multiple years to plan, fund, and implement. Frequent swings in board direction can waste effort, discourage staff, and erode trust with our team. But stability must coexist with accountability. The board must still be responsive, open to adaptation, and willing to change course when warranted. The goal is constructive stability, not rigidity.
Amanda, same question.
Can you ask a question again?
Sure. We have seen leadership changes at the board level take place at surrounding school districts that have changed the strategic direction of a district. Do you believe stability in a board of education is important, and why?
Yeah, I believe it's 100% important, and I believe that when you have board members that have experience matters, and I believe when you have board members that can collaborate and communicate and keep politics out of the discussion and really focus on the importance of being there and serving the students and increasing, things like the literacy rates and doing what's best for our teachers, doing what's best for our students, doing what's best for our parents, our community. I think that stability is of utmost importance, and I am committed to collaborating and working together with fellow board members when I am appointed to the board, and working to make sure that we're strong and that we collaborate and we make those decisions together for the community, for the district.
Great. Mike, same question.
Leadership stability is important. I can tell you from my experience on metro districts and HOA, and even on the home rule charter in Centennial, it was about having that vision about what we were going to do and trying to unify to come together and do that. You know, it's really important to have the stability too. It's the morale for our educators, for our students, and even our parents of our students. You know, we need to make sure that we have that cohesive pathway looking for the next 75 years of growth in Cherry Creek schools, and we can't do that if we're shaking the tree and moving the tree and not working together. I pledge to work together with, if elected, with all the other board members and the superintendent and other staff members to make this go forward. Thank you.
Tatiana, same question.
Yes, I think stability is extremely important as a board. I do know that there was a board member that stepped down after 2 years of serving on the board, and we had a board member choose not to run again, which is very strange because typically board members, when they are elected, they usually go for an 8-year term, historically speaking. I also have heard that the budget that was supposed to be done at the end of last year, the board did not complete the budget as they were supposed to. So I think it's going to be really important to bring board members on that will bring stability to the board. I've been doing the same profession for 25 years, and that's one of the things that I will definitely bring.
Thank you. This question will also be for all candidates. We'll start with Amanda. What Cherry Creek schools do your children attend? And if they have already, or they are not school age, what schools did they attend and where did they graduate from?
So my children attended Creekside Elementary, Liberty Middle School, and Grandview, and my daughter also attended Parker Lutheran for high school. As a parent, I'm sure many of you can understand that even children from the same family can have very different needs, and that's why I believe parents should have the ability to choose the school that best supports their child and their family. We have lots of options within the district as well, and I think parents should have that option. My husband and I chose to move to Cherry Creek District because of the exceptional education opportunities it offers. Ever since I was in high school, you know, I had Cherry Creek in my rearview mirrors from all the different competitions that I was a part of, watching them succeed. And our children have both received outstanding education in Cherry Creek. However, my daughter faced a very challenging situation that made it unhealthy for her to continue at her school. And so we made the tough decision to find an alternative that best met her needs. And while it was not easy, we made it work.
Terry, same question.
Four of my kids went to Creekside, then to Liberty, and then to Cherokee Trail. 2 of those kids graduated from IB and were valedictorians at CT. One of my children went to Creekside Elementary, Liberty Middle School, and then here at Grandview. My kids have a variety of different skill sets and needs, and that's one of the things I love about this school district. I have one child with autism, and then I mentioned the kids at the other end of the spectrum. I just believe in giving every child an equal opportunity for success.
Mike, same question.
Well, both my kids attended Polton Elementary School. My son ended up going to Prairie Middle School and then came here to Grandview for a year and then went to Overland High School. I believe at that time Grandview didn't have a marching band, Overland did, and that was one of his passions. My daughter, Polton Elementary, Falcon Creek, and Grandview High School. She loved this place. She was in performing arts and band, and they had some great experiences here at Grandview, especially when they went to Ireland in high school. I'm proud to say that they also went on to UNC and Metro State and DU. So Cherry Creek prepared my kids for their next level, and I'm so proud of my kids and their academic growth they've been able to move on. And I have a kindergartner now. Guess where? Polton. Thank you.
Tatiana, same question.
My boys attended Rolling Hills, Falcon Creek. I have a ninth grader here at Grandview. My older son was in Grandview at ninth grade, and that was during COVID. Schools got shut down, and when he came back to Grandview the following year, I guess it was probably the spring, had a very hard time adjusting back into the schedule. So he attended Elevations, and that was a great option for him. I think Cherry Creek does a really good job of offering alternatives in terms of different technology and the online school. And then, of course, we've heard so many great things about CCIC.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have time for one more community question of the evening, and then we'll move into closing remarks. This one will be for all candidates as well. Cherry Creek Schools is proud to employ nearly 10,000 staff members and has become a destination district for many teachers. Do you believe all teachers and support staff are highly trained professionals who deserve to be treated and compensated fairly? How would you continue to retain and attract top-tier talent? Mike, we'll start with you.
Well, first of all, 10,000 great educators. Of our educators, 82% of them have advanced degrees. We have the best and the brightest in our classrooms across the district. One of the ways we've done that is by having some of the higher teacher pay, especially for beginning educators. I think we're moved to second in the state now, maybe third. But the other thing, for I think it's 5 years in a row, Cherry Creek Schools has been listed as one of the top employers in all of Colorado and even been nationally recognized. To continue this, we need to keep our pay for educators at a high level. We need to make sure we maintain our classrooms at a level that those educators can handle so we can properly educate our kids. Thank you.
Tatiana, same question.
Cherry Creek used to be the district every teacher wanted to work in. Veteran teachers who have been here for over 20 years told me in many conversations that I've had with teachers that they were 1 in 100, maybe 200 applicants, sometimes more. And today we're struggling just to keep teachers and service providers. I've also received anonymous letters, I'm assuming from teachers, saying the same thing. They aren't being given what they need. They are tied up with things that have nothing to do with teaching, constant curriculum changes, professional development that doesn't apply to core subjects, managing discipline without support, and even buying their own supplies. Many say they don't feel heard, and some even fear retaliation for speaking up. At $18K per student, there's no excuse. We have the money. I want to stand for our teachers and let them do what they do best, which is teach our kids and start hiring and keeping the very best teachers regardless of race or gender.
Amanda, same question.
Yeah, when I originally moved here in 1999, there were 300 applicants for every one open position in Cherry Creek. We don't have that right now. I absolutely believe that we have great teachers in Cherry Creek School District. My kids were the lucky recipients of having many of those great teachers. But teachers absolutely need the right materials, support, and collaboration to succeed, and we must ensure that they have them. At the same time, schools must focus on academic rigor so the students learn to face challenges, think critically, and feel the satisfaction of achievement. If we make learning easy just to avoid discomfort, students miss the opportunity to build resilience and develop the skills they need for future success. That doesn't mean ignoring social emotional needs. It means striking a balance where students are supported, encouraged, and challenged at the same time. Administrators and the school board must actively work with the teachers to hear their boots on the ground experiences, ensuring that policies and curriculum decisions reflect what truly happens in the classroom. Effective teaching.
Terry, same question.
9,000 employees is a very large organization. It starts at the top from a leadership perspective. The first thing you need, you've got to ensure you're aligned with the strategic vision. The district has developed an outstanding strategic vision on where we need to go forward. You also have to have your true north. Your true north is our kids. And surrounding the kids are the 5 core values. Again, the district's done a great job in developing the 5 core values. We are paying at the top for our teachers, and we need to continue the teachers. I am proud that the Teacher Association has endorsed me because they know I'm the right candidate to support the teachers and more hands-on learning.
Thank you. We will now move into the final remarks for the evening. We'll provide each candidate 1 minute to provide closing thoughts. For final comments, we will start with Mike Hamrick from Director District D.
First of all, thanks for being here, especially during Monday Night Football. Thank goodness for TiVo. I want to just say my experiences in the past from HOA, Arapahoe budget, Metro District, everything else has helped me develop, implement, and execute budgets that are transparent, they're accountable. Those are the type of skills I plan on bringing as a board member to Cherry Creek Schools. I look forward to us expanding our educational opportunities and looking at new pathways that we can help grow our students into the next century. I'm Mike Hamrick. I would appreciate your vote, and thank you for your time.
Great. Terry.
In summary, there's 4 things you should remember about me. 1, I'm a financial expert, and you've heard over and over tonight the challenges we're going to have from a state and federal funding perspective. 2nd, from the bottom of my heart, I believe every child deserves an equal opportunity to a high-quality education and a pathway for purpose. However, in order to accomplish number 2, we need to continue investing in our teachers, support staff, and facilities. We also need to continue engaging with our partners as our parents as critical thought partners, and then improve safety for our children. 4th, experience does matter, and I'm the candidate with the most relevant experience to deal with the headwinds that's facing our school district. Thank you for attending.
Amanda.
So I've spent countless hours volunteering in Cherry Creek Schools, substitute teaching, and serving on the District Accountability Committee, giving me firsthand insight into the challenges our students and our staff face. This experience provides me with a valuable on-the-ground perspective to bring to the board. Along with my school involvement, I have a strong business background working with people in large corporations where I focus on strategy development, process improvement, and fiscal responsibility. Collaboration has always been at the heart of every role I've taken on, and I intend to bring that same spirit to the school board. I understand the responsibilities of a board member and the importance of effective governance. My priorities are clear: improve student achievement, partner with parents, support teachers and staff, expand community engagement, and ensure fiscal accountability. I'm Amanda Thayer, and I'm running for the Cherry Creek School Board District D position, and I would be honored to earn your support and your vote. You can learn more at my website at amanda4ccsd.com. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our program this evening. Thank you to the.
Oh,
I'm
Tatiana.
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it happens. It's a long night.
Tatiana.
No worries at all. I was approached and encouraged by my community to run for this position because of my proven record of giving back, working hard, and making real changes. Through this journey, I've had heartfelt conversations with parents, teachers, and community members who are eager to see a new direction for our district. Anyone who knows me will tell you I'm one of the hardest workers that they've ever met, and if you want to get something done, you give it to Tatiana. But if we want true change on this board, we cannot keep electing the same union-backed candidates and expect different results. I'm not motivated by any political agenda, and my spouse is not a politician. I'm a mom, I'm a small business owner, motivated by what matters most, which is our kids, our teachers, and our community. I will put everything I have into this position to ensure parents, students, and teachers are truly heard and that we are fiscally responsible with every tax dollar. I will collaborate effectively with all board members to move this district forward. Our community deserves accountability, transparency, and leadership, and to always put our kids first.
Sorry again. Thank you for those closing remarks. That concludes our program this evening. Thank you to the candidates for taking the time to be here and to the audience for your attention and desire to make an informed decision. Again, thank you to the staff of Grandview High School for hosting us tonight. As a reminder, tonight's forum has been recorded and will be available on the Cherry Creek Schools website. Have a great night and remember to vote.